Hi everyone and welcome along. One of my favourite sights first thing in the morning is all the birds gathered around our bird feeder. So today we're going to do a lovely sunrise with the birds in silhouette. So grab your paints and let's get started. So I've got a 6 by 8 inch piece of paper that I've masked down around the edge, and I've just drawn a pencil line vertically up the middle, and this is based on my bird feeder at home. So we've got these kind of cylindrical feeders that have got little hats on like that, and they sit on a little hook. And they have a little base around the bottom, so we're just putting little ovals and curved lines at the top and bottom of our two parallel lines, and then I'll do another one here. Now I've got my bird feeders drawn in, so I've done a few little posts for the birds to sit on, a little thing at the top. What is that? I don't even know. A detail of sorts. Now I'm going to place in the birds. Now, as this is all like a silhouetted thing, it's very important to try and create character by the shape of the birds. So I'm going to begin with a sort of oval shape here and an oval there, and just to bring the head into the body, and then I'm going to elongate that down and turn that into tail. If you like painting birds, we do have some on the channel, but really you want to look at my book Birds, Bees and Blossoms, because it's got it all in there. Right, now wings, imagine a little U shape, and then we're going to just draw in. Now of course when I say silhouette, that means we're not going to see all the details and things, but what I particularly love about the first thing in the morning is we do start to see the sun. So what I am going to do is I'm going to just draw in these fans of feathers. So imagine they're all sort of coming from that joint there. I'm going to draw these in because I'm going to show you a cool thing of how to paint them, and even in silhouette, but we're still going to see a lot of what's going on. Okay, that's a nice one. Then let's have a bird on here, so sitting on the bar there, and an oval for the head, and then we join the two together. And then down below you might see some tail feathers, not a huge amount, and then we'll have one here as well, and we'll see the back of it, so we can just have the tail feathers and the oval for the head, and then we just squish the two together. And there we go. And the reason that one's, I'm about to say barking, tweeting, is because there's another one incoming, flying in. And again we use the oval shape, and then the wings coming out. He likes the look of that bird feeder, so he's coming in to claim some food. So we'll get the fan of feathers I like it. Okay, so we've done all our drawing. We need to get first a lovely sunrise in. So I'm going to use my mop brush to wet the page. If you were drawing this at home, which of course you are because you're watching this, I would recommend drawing those birds in a bit lighter than I have. I paint a bit heavier for the sake of filming, but you could always lightly rub out the pencil if you're naturally a sort of heavy drawer first time. Okay, so I am going to put in some cadmium orange. Ooh, look at that across the page. Some cadmium yellow. Beautiful, vibrant sunrise. And we'll have some cadmium red. Oh, need a bit more of that. Cadmium red along the base of this piece. And we just need to let that dry 100% before we paint in our birds. The piece is now completely dry. Now that takes a bit of time because it's a really big wash and you don't want to rush it. And what I've done is I've mixed up some colours. Obviously silhouette we think of pure black, but I think what's much more exciting is when we can depict the subtleties within a silhouette as the sun is rising, and certain things are more see-through than others. So here I've got a mixture that's a bit dilute of Mars Black, Payne's Grey, Burnt Sienna and some Yellow Ochre, so it's just got that slightly earthier feel. Then here we've got Payne's Grey and Burnt Sienna, and then of course I've got all the others mixed up here as well. So I'm going to use this colour, and I'm actually going to use my size 0 brush, and I'm going to begin by painting in the feathers on the wings here, because these are the most translucent things in the piece. So I'm going to do the same here as well. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint in the actual body of this bird, just using this fairly translucent Payne's Grey Burnt Sienna mix. A size 0 brush seems good to be able to capture enough fine detail for doing things like beaks and things, but is large enough to get a good coverage nice and evenly. I'm going to paint in all of the birds now with this colour. Now we've got the birds painted in, I'm now going to use still these sort of slightly dilute colours and place in the nuts in the bird feeders, because I want to still get that sense of light and shade. Silhouette is interesting because I think we all think about black and white, but actually what it is when the sun is rising or setting, it's taken the colour away from what we're viewing. And so really it's not that it's gone completely black or completely one flat colour, it's knocked out the colour, but we've still got the light and shade in a much more difficult to view manner, but it is still there. So that's what you should think of more when you're contemplating painting a silhouette, like a good silhouette. I'm just biased. So you can see I'm painting the nuts over the top of that word there, but that one on the other side is still sat in front of it, Our bird feeders are eaten up so fast. Poor ant is always refilling them, so this is quite full for our ones. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint in the rest of the solid parts of the bird feeder in this shadowy mix. Size 0 brush still going strong. I think I'll use the rigger though for painting in. Oh, I don't know actually. I think I might want to just take it a bit more slowly, but it's good for parts, but sometimes you just want a little brush to get in there with the control, don't you? And now it is time for a seriously dark, inky, blacky blue, oh it's got a hair in it, colour. Payne's Grey and Mars Black mixed together, nice and concentrated, and now we're talking. So I've got my 4/10 brush, and I am now going to paint in some lovely dark details on this bird feeder. So this is the point where you do want to make sure you've got a nice small brush that can handle whatever details you want to put in it. So I am placing it sort of on the underside of lots of elements. So the lid of this bird feeder I'll leave in the light colour, but I will paint in underneath. But also I encourage you not just to sort of paint flat colours in, like I want to keep that tiny bit of that dark colour there, and even actually I might just sort of create a little bit more interest and roundness on the bird feeder itself. So we're just going to go around and fill in a load of that. For the birds, I'm going to use this dark colour as an opportunity to sort of work in a little bit of the markings on them. So I'm just painting, this is a house sparrow who's got these sort of markings over the head. But then after a while you're like, well, I can't do a huge amount with this, so it's better more to just use that colour to just depict the sort of the light and shade really, and you can still use it with a bit of a wash to it. It doesn't all have to be really distinct and stuff. I feel really pleased that I can sort of honour these lovely birds that have been such a pleasure to greet each morning when we let the dogs out, although the dogs then obviously bark and scare them off momentarily, but actually they're getting pretty used to our silly dogs. Now this one here, we're seeing the back of the bird, so we can capture a little bit more of the feathers, but we don't want to worry too much about that. So the last thing to do, I've already done it on this one, is we're going to get our little brush. I mean, you could use the Rigger again, but I like the control of the 4/10. And just with not too much paint on the brush, you don't want much, so that was kind of perfect. It almost ends up sort of dry brushing. We want to place in the little grill that holds all the seeds and the nuts in. And of course it gets closer together towards the edge. We're just going to do the front side for this piece, and then the other way around. Don't forget, of course, it is a rounded shape, so it's important to keep that rounded. And to be honest, by the time I get down to the nuts and seeds, I sort of stop really worrying too much about it. But there we go. That is a lovely birds in the morning round the bird feeder. We just need to rub out the pencil and peel off the tape, and we'll have a lovely piece. And there you go. So next time you think about painting in silhouette, think about actually what that means, whether there's any light in the background. Usually on the silhouette it means there's something bright in the background. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see your pieces. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that one. I want to say a huge thank you to our patrons, because without their support we wouldn't be able to make all these videos for everyone to enjoy. So if you enjoyed it, then hit the like button and comment below to let me know how you got on with that one. And of course, if you never want to miss another video, then hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and we'll see you again next time. Bye!